Hello, hello, welcome. I hope my audio levels are good and the video feed is also good too. Yeah, I have to talk about my setup at some point. It's pretty interesting. I do audio on the side, so I have the appropriate mic and stuff like that. This is something I've wanted to do for a while now, and I had to sort of put the theory together, like what would I talk about and what would it be, like exactly. So, welcome. I have to say, this is the first ever live stream on my channel. Whoa, it feels good though. Whoa, see, I need to get used to things. Yeah, it feels good. I decided that, you know what, why not do a live stream when the Matrix 4 trailer, which completely blew my mind, came out. And yeah, I'll be, also talking a bit about the Matrix, and I'll be talking about the Expanse too. Just leave your questions in the chat, and I'll do my best to read them and talk about it. Of course, I won't be addressing any season 6 spoiler questions, but we'll just have a good time and just hanging out. So I see some people in the chat. I see Sir Gussie. I hope I pronounced your name right. You say hi back. Welcome everybody. So first, I just want to talk really quickly about the first exposure we really had to the Matrix season 4, the Matrix 4 film. And what I thought was really interesting is you go to a website and you see a blue pill and a red pill. And by clicking, the different pill, you get, different video clip or trailer. Not only that, but it changes over time, which blew my mind. I studied new media in university, and this is like something totally up my alley, and I absolutely love it. It changed over and over. I tried watching it in the morning. The trailer changed. I watched the red, the blue pill, different versions, and it was absolutely amazing. And I believe, yes, Unstoppable Matrix 1 was 1999. I believe so. And that film is one of my favorite films ever, and that's why I thought, you know what, let's do a live stream about it, about the new Matrix film coming out. But we're going to talk about the Expanse, of course. As you can see, there's a little bit of Expanse stuff in the background. I don't know if any of you guys can check it out or recognize things that are in the background. I might have to move my camera around, but it's there's some interesting stuff there. And yeah, so we'll talk the Expanse, we'll talk a bit about the Matrix. So the full trailer got released today, I think about an hour or two ago. If you haven't seen it, I suggest checking it out. I retweeted it on my Twitter. Again, if you have any questions and you're not on YouTube for whatever reason, you can also just fire questions off on Twitter, and I'm also on Discord too. So I do got some questions on there, and we'll get to it in just a moment. But yeah, so basically, yeah, so Elvis says the Matrix is the best thing. I don't exactly know what the relationship you're making between the machines and I guess there is a relationship between the Expanse and the oppression the Belters are facing and the oppression the humans in the real world in the Matrix are facing from the machines. So there's definitely is a relationship there for sure. But if I want to go, so first I'll go on my Twitter. So there's Jerry asked a question. He said, do you think future shows like The Expanse will eventually use all those 360 virtual sets like they do on The Mandalorian? Now, that's a really good question, because what I do on The Expanse and what The Mandalorian does, even though there's some crossover, they're actually pretty different. And the reason why is that what I do is catered directly to the art department. I have been in the art department for years, and I want to help the art department out as much as possible. What The Mandalorian does is help the set and the production element as much as possible. So what they're doing is they're using an AR wall that's all trackable and it's all live in real time. What I do is all done beforehand. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because there's a difference. I think it's easier to get pre-production VR visualization like what I do because you only need really one guy that knows what they're doing and knows the software. Rather, the Mandalorian wall, you need a lot of infrastructure to do that. You need the wall availability. We have one AR wall in Toronto, and it's booked. You need to get like a year, at least a year, to get the AR wall like the Mandalorian does in Toronto. Minimum a year reservation, and that's like ridiculous. Like, how is anyone going to be able to use that? Another thing too is that it's really expensive. It's new technology. I'm sure the cost will go down eventually, but you also need a whole team of people. So on the Expanse, when I show the VR, walls, no, when I show the VR sets, it's all in pre-production and it's one person, just me. The Mandalorian has a whole team of people. You have render artists, you have, people who have all the tracking software. You have so many different elements that go, and I think it's more expensive. So do I think more productions will be using it in the future, like the Mandalorian AR wall? I think there is. I think more productions will use it, but it needs to be in the right context, and they need the money for it. So yes, I do think it'll increase over time, but I don't think it'll be very common. So Unstoppable asked a question: does a 360 VR set help with planning one-shots? I have an interesting story about that. So yes, I do think it helps in one-shots. Storyboarding also helps. In season 3, there was a director who came in and had an idea for doing a really long shot in the Agatha King. And we talked about starting in the Agatha King ops deck, going down to the elevator, and then going down to the hallways, because it's all connected, right? So before the set's built, if you were given the drawings and saying, let's do this one shot in the Agatha King, and you look at the drawings and you're like, okay, it's all connected, but it doesn't feel very intuitive. When you put the headset on and you're walking through the actual Agatha King set to do like a whole one shot, it feels very intuitive, very natural, and it really gets the idea across in like a meeting, for example. If I have the director and different producers and stuff in my office, we can all talk about it and look at this thing in real time. Essentially, like what we're doing is we're creating the shot, but just virtually. So yes, I definitely do think the 360 VR sets do help with planning one shots. But one shots also, there's a whole logistical thing that goes around that has to do with camera, because you got to think about how does the camera go from one point to another? Is it strapped on a person? Like, the most ridiculous one shot we did in the Expanse was the Baltimore, where we went from literally a helicopter down to the helicopter camera and the crane camera were two different cameras, but they were synced up to make it look like one. So yeah, and we didn't do that in VR because that had like aerospace involved, because of, when I say aerospace, I mean like we had a helicopter involved. Like, that is way beyond VR. I was probably busy doing other stuff too. So Ultimation says, does VR hook right into the virtual effects? No, it's not. It's separate. So if anything, the VFX, virtual effects, give me elements to show. So basically the idea is that the exterior of a spaceship, for example, if we have a spacewalk and there's two actors on the spaceship, sometimes we'll build like a little portion of the set. But what I can do is I can ask the VFX vendors for a 3D model of the set, of the ship, whatever ship we're doing. And then I'll put it into VR and then have the actors go on it. Sometimes we've done that, or have the director understand where the actors' placements are. The only thing is that when we, again, we're only building a little portion of it. We have to match the VFX. So there's a bit of back and forth, like, do they match our set building? Or do we match them? So we try to meet in the middle. Like, we want them to have an accurate representation of what the actors are standing on, and we want what the actors are standing on be accurate to the final model. But there's definitely some crossover where we need to be in communication. So that's where I come in. I'll make sure that we understand that we're building an appropriate model for, like, we're building an appropriate set for the 3D model that's going to be designed. So yeah, so I don't go to VFX. VFX will occasionally give me models to answer your question, ultimatum. And yeah, so when it comes to VFX and VR, at times I've even gotten like animation sequences as well. I will probably, I don't want to give too much away, and this is like a season 5 thing, so I can talk about it. But I have a video in mind where I got a very interesting animation sequence, and I had a early version of it, so all the textures are like it's just one color, it's like one material, but it had some very interesting animation. I think you guys would be very interested in that as well. I have a question on Discord that I'm going to talk about. Just give me a moment. Going onto the Expanse Discord. Someone asked, do I have any plans of making a VR game based on the Expanse? Well, I don't own the Expanse. And to make a VR game about that, I don't think it's in something that I can do, because I'll need a team of people. Because if I were to make a VR game, I'd want it to make it as best as possible. A VR game in the Expanse realm. I've actually already made a VR game before. If you guys want to check that out, it's called Locust VR. It's a zombie shooter. I basically just, made something to test because I wanted to make games in the future. So I said, I'm going to make one and see what the pipeline is for Steam. It's a PC game on Steam, a zombie shooter wave. So do I personally think, like, would I make a VR game based in the Expanse world? Personally, no. Would I want to be part of the team? 100%. I should be part of the team, considering I've already made like a little demo of it. But yeah, I pitched the demo to people, to Alcon and Amazon, and they didn't really seem interested in pushing it forward, because you'd have to get a whole team involved. You got to think everything from audio to programming and stuff like that. All right, we got some more questions in the chat. So Ron Hanna says, got any plans to make Expanse-related content, VR games, videos? I'm constantly making videos. I've been trying to make videos on a consistent basis about the Expanse. I have a relatively new video that was called Terraforming the Expanse, where I touched lightly on what's up with terraforming and in the Expanse universe. So I'm making Expanse-related content on this channel, and I have a playlist. It's called The Expanse, and it's all Expanse stuff. Please excuse me, my mouth is getting a little dry and I need to consume some water. All right, so Sir Gussie, it's hard to pronounce her name, says, Chris, full stop. The Expanse is my favorite series. I bet not only mine. But the question is, why so little episodes in the 6th season? Why are there no plans for season 7? Why are they killing such a great series? This question's above me. It really is. I am a worker that's really down below. I can talk about my opinion on things. But again, so in my opinion, it is cheaper to, or no, it is more economically safe to do season 1 of a brand new series than to do season 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of any show there is. Unless you have like a Game of Thrones hit on your hand, like you have the biggest show of all time. That's just the reality of the film industry. And this is also speculation too. I've talked to a lot of people who have been in the business for so long, and they've said that to me. They said that Amazon would rather, not Amazon in particular, but I'm just saying hypothetically, would rather do, even Netflix and stuff like that, they would rather do season 1 of a new show than to do season 4 of a already established show with a fan base, unless it's like Stranger Things level of fan base, unless it's like, let me think of like the Office, maybe. Is that a big show too? Like, you need to be an absolutely atrocious, like the biggest show ever, and they'll renew you over and over and over again. So yeah, exactly. Game of Thrones, the later seasons were the issue. Yeah, but they still got like 8 seasons though. So normally, if Game of Thrones wasn't that big, it would have been canceled in like season 6 or something, or 5 even. Yeah, it's unfortunate. That is the reality of the film industry. The film industry would, streaming services would rather do season 1 of a brand new show than to do, season 7 of another show. again, this opens up the world to having, um, maybe like could there be a spin-off in the future? I don't know. There hasn't also been like an official thing. Like, is it really ending at season 6? Like, it. Do we know? I don't know. Like, we'll have to see. There's a time gap in the books. Like, I don't know. And the thing is, just stay tuned. I'm sure if season 6 does well, which I think it will, it's gonna bode well for the future of the show. But I don't know. We got canceled on season 3. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to be like, oh, let's go to season 4 and start working. And we got canceled. So it's like, who knows what's gonna happen the future of the show. I hope the best though. There's a question about ship sizes. Okay, so when it comes to ship sizes, I get the concept 3D models. I work off of those. They're pretty accurate. They're as close as you can get. They get remodeled by VFX vendors. So the 3D models, most of them that I have are concept. So if there's a scale discrepancy, it's like it's in concept, but it's like it's not going to be 100 meters off. It's going to be, I don't know, maybe 5 meters off or none. Actually, I think they're really accurate. And okay, so do I have a copy 9 book copy yet? No, I don't. I do not. I know somebody who I think got I don't know what it's called, like maybe a synopsis of it, just because you need, when you're writing like the show, you kind of need to see what the future is going to be so you can like foreshadow things. I mean, if there is a future, the whole idea is that as a writer, if like you need to, like when you end a season of a show, whether you're getting canceled or not, it doesn't matter. You need to, like, the last things the writers do, like the last few months, once the show is done filming, is you write sort of like a synopsis of like how would you continue the show, even if you get canceled or even if the show's ending. It's just what writers do. And the reason why you do that is because if there's anything happening in the future, you get handed some work and you're like, look what we've done already. Let's work on this. So every season, so even from season 1, even after season 3, at the end of season 3, the writers wrote a synopsis of what was going to happen in season 4, even though we got canceled. This is just a thing that happens in the film industry. I don't know if they do this in every writer's room. They should be doing it in every writer's room. At least the experienced writers' rooms would do that, because by having stuff for the future, you are preparing your future writers, because you might not have the same writers. You're preparing the future writers for an overall vision of the show. I'm sure they did it on Game of Thrones too. So when Game of Thrones season 1 ends, at the end of season 1, you write a general, just like a quick thing. This is the ideas for season 2. Just like kind of, it's not in point form. Again, I'm not a writer. I'm not in the writer's room, but I know I've been in the industry long enough to know that this is like a practice. So yeah, there was Sir Gussie says, I was voting to save the Expanse. There was a petition. Yeah, there was a petition. 250,000 votes. Is that enough fans? Well, there are a lot of, like, even look at the YouTube videos. The YouTube videos have a decent amount of views too. Is it enough fans? The question is, are they buying enough merchandise? And then the other question is there enough merchandise available? Because just watching the show and subscribing to Amazon Prime is one thing, but buying merch is another thing. So the question is are they willing to put the investment into, or when I say they, I mean like whoever owns the merchandising rights to the Expanse, are they willing to put the money in to create merchandise, and are people willing to buy it like massively? Are they willing to buy it on the level of Star Wars? And I think the answer is Star Wars is a huge IP. It really is. And I think historically the merchandise sales, I mean, it's fluctuated, right? And I don't think it'd be the level of Star Wars, right? And if it's not the level of Star Wars, then why put the investment into it? I'm just talking hypotheticals here. Like when it comes to like merchandising and marketing for that, it's so far away from what I understand. I do game dev. I work in the film industry. I studied art interactive art, new media, and university. Those are my specialties. Marketing and merchandising for a television series is not like I can design a graphic for it. Or I can make it. I could do a T-shirt design, but by marketing and selling, that's not what I understand. So I don't know if there are enough fans to purchase merchandise to continue the show to 20 more seasons. I don't know this information. Also, they don't tell us the numbers. Like I don't know how many people are watching The Expanse. I don't. No one knows. Only Amazon knows. So there's a continuation in the chat talking about the Expanse has a high percentage of really dedicated fans who love it. They do, but it's a smaller. Yes, there are the only reason why we got renewed was because of a very dedicated fan base, and I think that the fan base got bigger after we got canceled. I really do think so. I wouldn't say no to that red coffee mug. Yeah, you see it right down there, red coffee mug. I was actually thinking about ideas for live, just to change the topic a little bit. I was thinking of ideas for live streams in the future. I might do like a show and tell, like what are the Expanse swag I've gotten over the time, because I've worked from season 1 to 6, and every year we get stuff. It's called crew gifts. When you work on a sorry, I need to drink some more water. My mouth is so dry. And talking this long, it's kind of hard. Yeah, so I might do a live stream about all these. This is what you see here is just like a very, very small fraction of what I have. A lot of it's like clothing and stuff like that. Yeah, I might do a little show and tell of the crew gifts I've gotten in the past. Also stuff that I've made my own stuff too. We've made some. I can actually. Okay, I'll do a little show and tell today, but there'll be a bigger video on it one day. So going to my shelf over here, we have a MCRN mug. Very pretty, but there's something on the other side. Do you guys see that? So I actually really, really like this mug a lot. Hold on. I'm going to put the mug back on my shelf. Sirocco side facing out. Should I put Sirocco side facing out or MCRN facing out? Someone say in the chat. Daniel says, do y'all get to keep the hoarded tequila from season 5? Okay. I can talk about props and tequila in 1 second. Okay, Sirocco side facing out. All right. Okay. All right, that looks good. Wait. There, that's better. Okay. So yeah, so the tequila. All right. I have a funny story. So props, they need bottles of alcohol, and that we redress. So in the art department, what we'll do is we'll get a nice, cool looking bottle, and then the art department will have to do a label for that bottle, and the label will be something custom that's in the world, of the story. So for example, if it's in the Expanse, we got to make up a, name that's cleared. So you have to make sure that no one has a tequila that's the same brands. I think one of the tequilas, Lola's Tequila, which is actually Kim's Season, who's one of the graphic designers on the show. It's her dog, Lola. So we made Casa de Lola Tequila. I think that's what it was called. So what happens to the tequila inside? Because you can't have tequila on set. What happens to it? Well, the props guys get first dibs because the tequila has to go somewhere. So you put it in another bottle and take it home. But they have a lot of booze, and the props office was really close to the art department. And I don't know, I feel like art department and props people, we have a lot of interaction. We get along really well. So sometimes the art department also gets to take a little bit of that home. But it's more than just tequila. It's like, it's whiskey, it's, gin. It's actually like I found some nice, There's one. I think it's a vodka. I never would have bought it before. It's called Vito's vodka. We like the bottle of it, and I tried it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. So I was able to get introduced to new liquors and new drinks because, the inside of the bottle, that alcohol has to go somewhere. But that is a great question, Daniel. That's hilarious. Um, that top secret pink polka dot thing is very intriguing. Oh, okay. I can talk about that. I've been doing a thing in my apartment where I call it garbage art, where I start to collect interesting things but have no inherent value. Like that's a pizza box. I actually have another one. Just give me 1 second. It's a pizza restaurant in Toronto, and it's called Blondie's. So here's another. I love it. So I just hang it on my walls because I don't know. I'm weird like that. But yeah, it's a pizza box. So yeah, and the polka dot one is another pizza box. I think it's a smaller pizza box. But yeah, talking more about this like quote garbage art, I have craft brew cans that I like as well. So I have a whole shelf of that. I'm not going to move the camera for now, but I'll show you one can. So if I find a can that I like, it's usually done by local artists. It's called Collective Arts Brewery. So if I like the can, it goes up on the shelf, and I have a shelf full of them. But the whole idea is like once I move out, or in the future when I just throw it all or recycle it, and then redo it in the future. But yeah, great question, Annabelle, or not, Unstoppable. I said Annabelle, Unstoppable. All right. Let's look at some more things in the chat. Okay. Do you have the Rossi model nearby? Yes. Where is it? Oh, I had to switch shelves. It's on this shelf. So it is, let me think, 2 meters away from me, but it's on a different shelf. Yes, the Rossi model is nearby. Do you guys want to see it? So Unstoppable again says the drinks in Luna Gravity are CG, right? The fluids generally look realistic. Is not too far away. Yeah. So when you see the fluids doing weird stuff, yeah, it's CG. So they're actually on set. They're pouring nothing, but not every time it's CG. Sometimes they're just. I think on Tycho, I think they're just pouring a drink and it's just regular. It's expensive to do those shots, but yeah. The Luna Gravity, I have to rewatch that scene. I can't remember, but the one that I remember the most is the one that Miller was pouring, and it looked very very wavy. But yeah, it's CG. So on set they're pouring nothing, and then they do the liquid fluid dynamics in CGI. All right, so another question here. Which VR setups do you use for work? Do you have different ones for home? Do you have a favorite VR games? Okay, yeah. So what I use is obviously a PC. I have a pretty big workstation. It has a GTX 1080 graphics card in it. So I guess it's kind of dated now, but it's still pretty good. And yeah, it has a decent 7i processor. Yeah. So and is okay, so do I have a different one for home? No, it's the same one that I own personally. At times the production, when I say at times, because I've done like consultation for other productions, and I suggest like, guys, the production should buy their own setup. So the Expanse like show has a VR setup, and then I have my own VR setup. And it's funny though, because I actually at times had to move that VR setup to different places and have two people in VR at the same time. Like we've done certain things like that before, or we ship a unit off to someone. Like I'll build a computer and then ship it off to like LA or to like a director or something, just for them to have, and I could send them sets remotely. So yeah, I have my own setup, which I use for the show. Pretty much like, yes, I have my own setup. And to answer, do I have a favorite VR game? I Ironically, I don't play that many VR games. I play regular games quite a bit. But my favorite VR game, hands down, is Space Pirate Trainer. Space Pirate Trainer is a game. It's very simple. You have two guns in your hands, and you shoot these little drones that are flying by, and it's very arcadey. Like, there isn't a story. It's just really fun, and the guns have different modes. Like, you can switch shotgun mode to rapid fire mode to like single blast mode to like grenade launcher mode. It is a lot of fun. And there's, again, no story. I do think I've also played so that's the best game I've ever played in VR. The best, like, story wise. I haven't finished it, but Half-Life Alyx is really good. Like, really good. I just like the environment, like, in that game. It's not really necessarily like my favorite game ever, but for pushing the boundaries of VR, it's very good. Like, very, very good. So those I would say are my two favorite VR games. Let's see if there's any more. i7, yeah, i7. Is there any truth to the rumor last season will only be 6 episodes? I said from the beginning I'm not talking about season 6, so you can speculate what you want, but I can't say yes and I can't say no, so I'm not gonna touch on that. Unfortunately, I wish. If you read the article, they break it down. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to talk about the next season, whether unless it gets officially released, then I can talk about it. Sorry. Oh no, it's okay. No, don't worry about it. The person who asked that question said sorry. It's all good. I mean, if Amazon wanted people to know, they would know. So yeah, just stay tuned. I'm actually surprised no one's. I'm thankful no one's asked any more questions about the next season. Thank you for that. I mean, what I'll do probably is, as the season's episodes get released, I will likely do a live stream about it, and we can start talking about the episode, and I can start talking about, behind the scenes stuff. Ooh, I would like to thank everyone again, because again, this is my first live stream. I've never done anything like this before. It's not very foreign to me though, because I've done like videos where I'll pose a question on Twitter and say, what is your favorite thing about the Expanse? And I will break down like everyone's answer, and that's pretty much a live stream, because I do it like in one. I do edit it, but I do it in one cut, and I have to read stuff, so it's like, yeah, this whole live streaming thing. Thank you for your patience. I hope my audio levels are good. I hope the video is good. I do see it looks a bit bright. I might want to maybe tone down the brightness. I look very pale, but it's all good. And yeah, I can't talk about the new season. So, can you tell us any rumors about the Stargate franchise Amazon has purchased recently? I have no idea at all. My relationship, like my knowledge about what Amazon does, it's very, very, very far removed. Like, I think I met the marketing team like once, and I was actually really impressed when I met them. They had a lot of good ideas. I think it was season 4. Yeah, season 4, the marketing team flew out, and they were all like really young and had some really good ideas. But yeah, no, I don't have any ideas about the rumors of the, like, even Amazon's other, like, Lord of the Rings. I have no relationship with Amazon at all when it comes to all that jazz. But I do briefly want to talk about the marketing team of The Expanse, how their ideas were really put forward really well. Like, they had an idea called bingo, where it's like bingo, but you have to binge certain things. And then I noticed other shows started doing it, but The Expanse, to the best of my knowledge, did it first. So their marketing team's pretty good. I think they need to be maybe a bit more active, but I think they're good. More questions in the chat. Unstoppable again says, do you have a VR 360 Protomolecule Eros set illuminated? Guess it's too much glowy stuff to handle in VR. It isn't too much glowy stuff to handle in VR, but it is a different season. I didn't do VR in season 2. I was a graphic designer in season 2, and I was a graphic designer in season 1. We only started doing VR in season 3. So I wouldn't have an Eros set. I mean, I guess I can like retroactively like get the models and build, but like there was no need to do that because no one was doing VR in season 2. We only started doing VR in season 3. I think was the first time. No, season 3 was the first time we started doing VR. I get confused. I'm getting like season 4 and 3 confused a little bit because I don't know. It's been so many seasons of the show. My memories just kind of melt. All I know is that season 1 and 2 I did graphics. Season 3 onwards I did VR. Okay, so another question. How the hell I don't exactly know what your question is. Elvis? I don't know. I don't ask me like questions about the production stuff. When it comes to like story, you know, I'm not a writer on the show or a writer of the books. I'm the VR guy on the Expanse. Yeah. If there's any sets that you guys want to see in VR, just let me know because I have like I'm a little confused, about like what do you guys want to see in VR? So I have more content coming up. I have one video in mind, and it's gonna be about sustainability and the film industry and the Expanse because historically the film industry has been very wasteful, I guess you could say, not environmentally friendly. However, the Expanse has been pushing the bar when it comes to like how can we be more sustainable. And okay, it wasn't a question, it was just not okay. Hey, welcome Glenn, you just joined the live chat. Yes, working on the Expanse has been a fun project for sure. Working on the Expanse has been the coolest show I've ever worked on, hands down. Like I've done kids show before. I worked on MTV Skins a little bit. I wasn't really like there the whole time, but working on Skins was pretty cool. It was fun. No one really liked the show, but I was the right age too. I was like, I don't know, 19, 20 when I worked on Skins, so I was like exactly like their demographic. So that was fun. But hands down, doing VR in the Expanse has been the coolest job I've ever had. Favorite ship design from all seasons. Okay, this is obvious. I like the Rossi, but that's too obvious of a question. It'd be I like the Razorback. The Razorback is awesome. I like the idea that it's just fast. It's just fast as hell. And so I would say my favorite would probably be the Razorback and the Rossi. But I'm not like a huge fan of the I'm talking about the Razorback and the Rossi just for like exterior aesthetics. When it comes to like interior like sets, like spaceships, hands down the Tynan. The Tynan is such a cool looking set. Like walking around the Tynan was always just like yes. I'm talking about the Tynan Ops deck. Wow, what an amazing set. So when it comes, my favorite ship design exterior wise would be Rossi and Razorback, probably like even, and interior the Tynan, hands down the Tynan. So how big's the Pella? It's 89 meters. Yeah, so they did make an MTV Skins. Yeah, you probably don't know about it because it didn't do very well. But yeah, when I worked on Skins, I was a rave coordinator. Yeah, rave coordinator. So basically they had like a really big like warehouse filled with extras, and my job was to get people to know about this thing and to show up. Because basically what we did kind of like an open casting. Said, hey, you want to be on Skins? Come to this like warehouse and it wasn't a party. It was like we were filming, so you couldn't like there was no drugs or alcohol. But yeah, it was a it was an interesting time because I had to like use social media, Facebook group to get people to go. But yeah, maybe it would be an interesting conversation for the future. My experience on MTV Skins. Oh, I'm actually a background person in it. Yeah, that's fun. I should bring up the screen grabs from that. I probably look so young. Um, my so Glenn M says my matte gray Tesla Model 3 is named Rocinante. If I get a red Tesla Roadster, I'd name it Razorback. I think that's a really good idea for sure. Do you have any like uh Rossi or MCRN or Expanse like stuff on your car? Because I've seen a bit of that. You know, I don't blame you if you want to just keep the car clean, but it would be really cool if you had some like stickers or something in or on the car. And does anyone have, you know, Expanse related stuff on their vehicles if you drive a vehicle? I don't own a vehicle. I don't. I have one I can use, but it's technically my parents and it's parked at their house, but I don't own one, and I don't want to own one either. I try to cycle everywhere I go, but yeah. And actually my brother uses, so my car is technically like my brother uses it more because he needs it for work more. Like I try to just cycle everywhere. I'm very close to work, and well, I'm not working at this moment, so work is here in my house, but I usually am cycle distance away from anything I need to do. um okay, so let's see anything else in the chat. Does my Roomba count as a vehicle? Yeah, I guess so. Can you sit on the Roomba and move around? Actually, Unstoppable, I saw your video about the Roomba. That was hilarious because you said something like, oh, I can't remember. It was a tweet. I have to bring it up. That was so hilarious. Oh yeah, it was under my terraforming video, I think. Let's see. You said, I own a terraforming device, sucking in dusters clean like a champ, only attacking Luna and going stealth. I laughed at that so hard. That was hilarious. That was very, 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 very funny. Oh, someone said on Twitter, I think you meant EDT, Easter Daylight Saving. When I said EST, I meant Easter Standard Time. Is that a thing? Did I mess that up? I don't know. So Daniel says, have you seen For All Mankind? Do you see any thematic similarities with that show and The Expanse? Sort of like when people compared the Martian with The Expanse and whatnot. I have not seen For All Mankind. Do you know where I can see it? Is it on a streaming service like Netflix or something? Is there a way I can see that? Because if you're recommending it and if there's a thematic similarity to The Expanse, I should probably watch it. Ultimation asked, how often do the staff view places like The Expanse on Reddit? Wait, how often do the staff view places like The Expanse? Reddit. The Expanse Reddit. Okay, so I am pretty active on Reddit. I know Kim is. I know. So I would say that the younger people on the show are more into the Reddit. I mean, like Daniel has been. Has it been? Ty? No, I think it's Ty. Ty has been here and there on Reddit. Like he'll pop in here and there, but I would have to say we're not very active on Reddit, but I think Kim is more so, and me more so than that, and Olivia, I think. But we're all like, we're all young, so I think the younger people on the show are more in tune to the Expanse Reddit. Glenn M says I should get a Roxy sticker for your, like, meaning your car. Yeah, I do think that'd be cool. So, oh, it's on Apple TV. Okay, thank you. I don't have Apple TV, but I do want to see Isaac Asimov's The Foundation. So I will probably, so if I get Apple TV, I'll have to see For All Mankind and The Foundation. I know a lot of people worked on that show, and from what they told me, they said that it's huge, like massive. Everything's massive. The budget, the ships, I've seen. Is there a trailer? I think there's a trailer, right? I think I've seen it. I can't really remember it, but yeah. No, I did not work on the Matrix 4. I'm just a huge fan of the Matrix. Sorry, I didn't want to give the impression that I worked on the Matrix. I just the first Matrix I watched a lot, and it was my favorite show. My favorite, probably still is my favorite movie of all time. I like the philosophy around it and whatnot. So just to make it clear, I wanted to talk about the Matrix because the trailer just dropped, and I thought, hey, you know what? My channel's about the Expanse. Let's talk about the Expanse as well. So, no, I didn't work on the Matrix season, Matrix 4. I keep saying season 4. I didn't work on the Matrix 4, but I am a fan. And if you guys want to talk the Matrix, we can talk the Matrix. Daniel says the foundation looks like it's going to be a banger. Yeah, I have a lot of faith in it. The people that worked on it have told me, they're like, holy, this is huge. And again, I'm excited for it. It looks good. It looks good. Ultimation says, speaking of the Matrix, do you think you choose your own style would have worked or been interesting for the Matrix? So Black Mirror, I've seen Black Mirror, but I haven't seen that particular. Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like choose your own story. Okay, would that work for the Matrix? Okay, the problem is with choosing your own story is that sometimes you can get a storyline that isn't as impactful as the, as what the filmmaker intended, because you have alternate branching storyline. I think it might be cool for like a short film in the Matrix universe, but actually like for the Matrix 4, would that be a good, what, I did have a theory about a movie theater going experience that I thought would be interesting. Imagine you go see a horror film, right? And everyone has like biometer, so it takes your like heart rate, your blood pressure, etc. And as the film progresses, it shows you little things here and there, and depending on what the audience generally, it'll be like a generalized thing. You take in all the information of the bio meters of your audience, like heart rate, other things, and depending on what makes them scared the most, the film will adapt and change depending on what freaks them out more. So maybe like a pop-up scared, it's like, we saw that a mile away, it didn't scare us, but maybe something a bit more psychological or dark scared the audience more, so then the ending of the film would have less pop-up scares and be a bit more psychological. I don't know, it's just a theory I had when I was in university writing a paper. I thought it would be interesting. The trailer, oh my gosh, that trailer was good. And I even like I talked about it at the beginning of my stream, the whole pill choice thing. Did anyone use the pill? Like go to that website and then you have to pick the blue pill or the red pill. Oh my gosh, that was really cool, because it would also spit the time at you. So if you were watching it, it'd be like, it is 9:30 a.m., but it's not. It's like, but it's deeper than that. It's I love that stuff. And I wish more films and TV shows would do that. I think it would be really good to have that sort of interactive element where you have a choice and the little trailer will change depending on the time of day, or I don't know what the variables were, but it changed. The Matrix pill choosing trailer changed over time. Like I watched it in the morning, it was different. The same pill was different than later on, and obviously when you click the different, I don't know, it was amazing. It's all done with code. So yeah, let's so Dana says, I was talking about it on Twitter the other day. It's really fun to see the marketing department learning interactive websites again, which used to be a big deal a few years ago. Yeah, I think that it's something that, I mean, it made sense in the Matrix because you have the pill choices, so you have like the binary choice, and it makes sense thematically and within the canon of the show, I guess you can say. But for example, how would you do that with the Expanse? How would the Expanse do an interactive trailer thing? It might be interesting. You can do the 3 factions, right? You can have, are you Mars, Belt, or Earth? And depending on what you click, the trailer would be different. I think that would be an interesting concept. I don't know, like it's not perfect. It's not as clear cut as like a blue and a red pill, but who knows? Maybe that would be an interesting way to market the show. I hope other TV shows and movies watch what The Matrix did, and they said, damn, we need to do that too. And I hope they do it. And Stoppabell says, yeah, give us an AI or scared data meters. We can totally use that for movies and not for other research. Yeah, I know the potential to my theory about putting biometers on people and then changing the film. It seems to be like, I mean, but what are you going to do with that? If anything, they'll say, hey, you're predisposed to, a heart condition. You should go see a doctor. Like there's, and then what you can do is take that information and start like advertising to people like, hey, here's a heart medication you should take. I know there's a lot to exploit with like AI and like biometers, but I think if we had more like of an ability to track our daily, like just even blood pressure, like you can find a lot of information from blood pressure, but if you were able to do that daily without even trying, it just happens. That information can get pinged to like a server and be like, hey, you should go get checked for something ABC. I know it might be beneficial. I have heart disease in the family, so that'd be something I'd be interested in. So yeah. Okay, so there was a Black Mirror episode on that too, horror based on your reaction. Oh yeah. Oh, really interesting. What is that Black Mirror episode called? I would like to know what horror based on your reaction. Huh. So I guess my idea isn't very original at all. I knew it wasn't going to be. But yeah, so just in general for this live stream, holy crap, I didn't know that the chat was going to be this interactive. I want to thank everyone here. I probably would go for like an hour, so we got about 9 more minutes. Okay, 9 more minutes, and yeah, so if you guys have any burning questions, I think an hour of me talking into this microphone is enough for my first live stream ever. I've been having a good time though. Like you guys have been great. I literally thought it would be just me talking to myself. Well, that's what I am doing, but I'm also reading your comments as well. Okay, so it's not based on your reaction, but the character playtest season 3 episode 2. Okay, I'll check that out. I've seen the first season of Black Mirror and a little bit into the second season. I've seen a few episodes in the second season. That's as far as I go into Black Mirror, but yeah, it's not exactly your idea, but along those lines. Cool. I like Black Mirror. The only thing is it's like it's kind of freaky though, because a lot of the things that are in Black Mirror are, I don't know, in a small scale, they're happening to us, So yeah, if you guys have any more Expanse related questions, I know there's a question about the something about the books, and I don't know how to answer that. Yeah, so sorry, I don't know how to answer your question, Elvis. Yeah, so I was gonna say that when I was in university studying new media, we always bounced ideas around, like how can we make film more interactive, and we did talk about the whole like choose your ending sort of thing. I mean, just in theory, we never did it in practice. But one thing that was interesting, do you guys know the face filters? I think like Snapchat had it where you can put like someone else's face onto your face. I had a classmate of mine who was like this insane programmer, and for one of our projects, he did that as like a little app. And I was looking at this, I was like, holy crap. So basically what he did is he took like some of our professors' faces and some of like famous people's faces and put it onto your face, like meshed together. And this would have been done in 2012. He did that in 2012. I was like absolutely amazed. I was like, wow. And then like years later, Snapchat came out with it, like, okay. All right, now we know what's up. And it also had to do with like the face tracking software. A lot of it's open source. It basically detects, do you have like eyes and then like a mouth, and then puts a box over it, and you can do stuff with that. So yeah, another question is, there's also been rumors about Expanse movie. Have you heard anything? I mean, the rumors are just, I think, more hypothetical. They said, hey, there could be films in the future, there's absolutely nothing planned. And also, if there is, I wouldn't even know, because that's here, and I'm down here. I'm very low on the scale of important people on the Expanse, unfortunately. I think the work that I do is really cool, but I am not privy to any of that information, like all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I think it'd be, I don't know, would it be better to do the last few books as a feature or as a series? I don't know. But again, not privy to that information. At this moment, I don't know if the show's continue. All I know, what I can say probably is the sets are down, but that doesn't mean too much. The sets come down quite often. Yeah. Elvis, I don't know when you're asking about opening credits later switch to the screen. Again, I need to look at it directly. I don't know exactly how to answer you. But yeah, so we got a little less than 5 minutes left. I want to thank everyone. I hope this was a good stream. Again, this is my first live stream ever. So, damn, this was an interesting experience. Okay, another question. While you worked on The Expanse, did you get an opportunity to meet any of the... Yeah, all of them. They were my coworkers. Some of them I definitely met more than others, but like I've had them in my office to do VR, at the rap parties, like whoever is in town, like, yeah, pretty much all of them. Sometimes, like, I mean, you meet them, but like I've been working in the film industry for quite a bit, that it doesn't really, I don't want to say this, like I just treat them as a normal human being. Like, I'll just say, if we're walking past on the highway, it's like, hey, what's up? And then just keep doing my thing. It's never like, oh my gosh, like, yeah. So I've met all the actors. I have a funny story about Steven Strait and I, though. It was the rap party in season 2, and it's an open bar, and we were standing at the bar, and I would say, hey Steven, like, don't worry, the next round it's on me. Again, it's an open bar. And then he's like, no, don't, no, it's on me. Like, this is Steven saying this. And I was like, Steven, it's okay. The next round is on me, of course. And we went back and forth, and it's an open bar. So that was the joke. We had a really good time. And thank you for being here, Sergasi. I am taking care and staying safe in these weird times. It is weird times, but I hope everyone's keeping safe too. And, make sure you are keeping your family safe as well. It is interesting times, but there's a light in the horizon. Okay. So Unstoppable is like, I think there was some pop-up events for season 4 launch or something like that, like the camp. Do you think conventions will be more open to something like that again, or the Expanse panels or cons? Yeah, with the season 4 launch, we were at Comic-Con, and we had a little, like, Rossi built for that. So will that be something that happens in the future again for the Expanse? I don't know, because Comic-Cons aren't really, like, there will be no Comic-Cons in Canada for at least for a while, like an event like that, especially if it's indoors. Outdoor concerts are happening, but maybe even indoor. I don't know. I really don't know. But I don't think that we'll have more pop-up events for the Expanse happening in the future. I don't see that being, and if it does happen, it'll probably be really small. Like, we had something at the Science Center here in Toronto the other day. So, yeah, there's that. Glenn M., thank you for being here. If it wasn't for you guys, I would just be talking to myself without any input from the chat. So the chat's been great. Like, you guys have been really, really good. So yeah, we got 1 more minute left. I think an hour will be justified for this. And yeah, it's been fun. Again, like, this is the first time I've done this. I hope that you guys understand that I feel like I need to get my bearings a bit. But yeah, and for the overall of the channel, I'm going to keep posting videos, and these type of live streams will be more akin to something that, like, news that happens. So, Matrix 4 trailer drops, boom, I'll do a live stream. So I don't want to say I'll do this weekly, but maybe like special occasions. Let's just say special occasion once a month, maybe, or maybe more than that. We'll see. We'll see. What tech from the Expanse do you wish existed in real life? The ease of space travel. I wish that we can just get on a Luna shuttle and just go to space like it's nothing, because now it takes a bunch of resources, and only Bezos can do that on a whim. You know, I wish we can go. And also the medical technology. I think the medical technology in the Expanse would be something. I don't really care for the comms or all that jazz. Just the medical technology that they have in the Expanse and the ease of travel in space would be fun. Even just to go for a vacation. Hey, I want to go to Luna for a vacation. Like, that'd be great. So that's something in Expanse. All right. So I've hit 1 hour. Damn. So I guess this is the end of the live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining. And yeah, this will be something I do in the future. I have the setup. And yeah, maybe next time I'll do a little show and tell of Expanse stuff I've gotten in the past. And again, we'll be talking the Expanse more on this channel. If you guys liked what you saw, I hope you stick around. And yeah, peace out.